Well, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks, Clark. Glad to be back in a different role.
Yes, in a different role for sure. For those who don't know, would you like to introduce yourself and we'll kind of get started there?
Yep. My name is Chad Emerson, and I am the managing director at Huntsville City Football Club.
Yeah, so we had you on right before you transitioned. I think it was like the week of, actually. And I think what was when the announcement came out that you were going to leave DHI and move to HCFC. This is the first, or I guess second season of HCFC. Talk a little bit about that first season and what it was like starting a football club here in Huntsville when there really wasn't ever a football club here before.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind. I'll tell you what. So I joined the club in September of 22.
Okay.
And at the time, Joe Davis Stadium was in the middle of a major renovation, $30+ million renovation. And we had a season to start next March. So
wow.
Now we played the first 7 home matches on the road.
Okay.
And then May, it was 17th, I believe, of 2023. We had our first home match, a sellout crowd at now Wicks Family Field at Joe Davis Stadium. And so it was really interesting. By the time we got to the soccer matches, we'd already played, almost a month and a half, 2 months of matches, but we never played in Huntsville. So the team was used to playing, but we felt like we were driving a brand new car, even though, people have already been at it for a while. So it started off really exciting that way, and it's been really exciting since then.
Yeah, and so what is the typical – so soccer is like one of the only sports I've never played.
Okay.
Never got into soccer, don't really know much about it. I actually still have not made my way down to a game yet, which it's on the list.
I should have made that a requirement to come
on the show.
I
feel like it should have been. And it's always like it's on the agenda, like we're ready to go, but it just has not worked out yet. But what does the typical season look like for soccer?
So it's a 28-match schedule, 14 home matches, typically begins in March.
Okay.
And the regular season concludes near the end of September. Playoffs, for those that make the playoffs, are in October. So it's similar to a baseball season in that sense. It's mainly over the spring, summer, and early fall.
Okay. And so after that, so that first match is obviously sold out at the Wicks Family Field. You start seeing this buzz of soccer in Huntsville, something it's a fairly new thing. It's new to the Huntsville area, new to really North Alabama, if I'm aware. But how did that into that first season and being able to reflect on that first season of HCFC and here in Huntsville? What was that like reflecting on that, and how did that first season go?
Well, we were super fortunate, even though we were the first professional team to play at Wicks Family Field. There was already a really strong and deep soccer ecosystem.
Yeah.
We have an incredible adult league, one of the larger ones, of all different ages and genders, and beginner level to very serious soccer players. Then our club in town, our youth clubs, and then there's recreational, and then there's strong high school, middle school soccer throughout North Alabama. So we were very fortunate. We weren't having to introduce the sport to North Alabama. We were introducing a new team, but we were able to plug into that existing ecosystem.
Yeah, and like you said, like there's always been strong ties. I mean, like the amount of soccer that you see being played right there at Joe Davis, at John Hunt Park right there. I mean, the amount of soccer that's been played there, and then you have all the other fields off of, like, I guess, Jordan Lane. Over in that area, they have the huge facilities too. So you finish that first season, you kind of be able to reflect on, like, hey, what do we want to do differently for season 2? What are some of the things that maybe worked well in season 1 that you're continuing to do this season? But maybe what are some areas in which you saw ways to improve?
So this year was almost, rather than a second season, it was like season 1A and 1B.
Okay.
Because we had never, even though it's our second season, we'd never have matches in March or April or early May. So that was a new dynamic. We had played matches, but away.
Yeah.
And so what we found was March and April are a lot busier than during the summer, in terms of there's lots of high school sports, a lot of high school activities, theater. There's a lot of travel, spring sports. And so we've learned on certain days that maybe during the summer, a Saturday match is great because people have more free time. The youth sports aren't playing as much in June, July, and early part of August. But maybe on the other parts of the year, like in September this year, our 2 matches are on a Sunday early evening, because we know that while people may be playing sports or going to college football on a Saturday or on a Friday night, when we have a lot of our matches during the summer, Sunday, around between, I think our matches are at 7 o'clock, somewhere between 5 and 7 is pretty open on people's schedule. So we've moved those matches during the school year to Sundays at 7.
Gotcha.
And that way we think it'll allow people who may have wanted to come to the match on a Saturday during the school year, but their kids were playing volleyball in Birmingham and weren't able to do so.
Yeah, and so I know a big initiative, and even right off the start of HCFC being here, was the ways to integrate the local community into what you're doing, local small businesses. Talk a little bit about some of the partnerships and some of the ways in which you, the small businesses here in town, breweries in town, all this stuff like that, are helping support and propel HCFC forward.
So we are the second team for Nashville Soccer Club. That's our parent club. But we like to use the phrase, we're Nashville's second team, but Huntsville's first team.
Yeah.
And that's important because that means we need to have our own Huntsville identity. And part of that identity, for example, our beer garden.
Yeah.
When we were looking for a beer garden partner, we really, we weren't looking at Nashville breweries or breweries from other parts of the country. We really wanted to find a local North Alabama, in this case, Huntsville brewery. So we partnered with Yellowhammer. So when you go there, that's Yellowhammer. That's part of Huntsville. So you're going to a Huntsville match, Yellowhammer is authentically Huntsville. And we've done that with a variety of different partners. We think that's really, there are some national partners. You're always going to have that in sports. But we really, when possible, Terry's Pizza, for example, is the official pizza of Huntsville City FC. There are national pizza chains that are great that I enjoy, but Terry's is iconic to Huntsville.
For sure.
So it makes sense to partner with them.
Yeah. And so, and one of the cool things that you're doing, and I think it's become kind of a wave in recent years between music districts and or music venues and sports venues, is being able to activate the space not only during the season that you operate for soccer, but also finding ways to activate the district and activate the space throughout the off season when typically the lights are turned off and you're not really it's slowing down, which is great for you to kind of reset as far as what HCFC is doing, but you also want to be able to engage with the community. Talk about some of the things that you've been able to do this year. I know you had partnered with Stephanie Mell and Church Street to kind of do some events. Talk a little bit about that and how that's kind of changed the way people are enjoying the Wicks Family Field.
So one of the cool things about this job is that in addition to being the anchor tenant of Wicks Family Field, our 14 home matches as a soccer team, we also operate the stadium on behalf of the city. So we have a lease with the city to operate 365 days a year. So if it happens inside of Wicks Family Field at Joe Davis Stadium, it comes through us, which is a lot of fun because it allows us to do a lot of different things. We actually don't typically refer to it as a soccer stadium. We talk about Wicks Family Field as an entertainment venue. And the reason we do that is because while soccer is a great sport there, you can play other sports. We've host high school football there. We can host college football. We've hosted rugby. We did a match between Huntsville and Hartselle.
Wow.
You can do field hockey. You can do ultimate frisbee. You can play lacrosse. So there's a lot of other sports you can play there. And then beyond that, on the entertainment side, you can also have concerts. You could have wrestling matches. You can have a variety of things because, again, it's a rectangular open-air facility that, depending on the type of concert, you can get up to 12,000 people, which would make it one of the largest, if not the largest, in North Alabama.
Wow.
So there may be, like, we love our friends at Orion or Probst, incredible venues. I love going to concerts there. But there may be an act that is too large for that, and they would consider bypassing Huntsville for a different market. Now we can say as well, if you need 12,000 tickets, we have an opportunity for you.
Wow.
So we have our head of booking who books concerts at Geodis Park, which is where Nashville plays. And here, industry veteran, he's been down. He's like, yeah, we can do some great concerts here. And then, in addition to all of that, we have a great beer garden that we open up for Bikes and Brews, or we open it up for the We Run Downtown Huntsville pub runs. And we can have events like we're partnering with. When's this coming out?
It'll probably come out later this month. It'll be end of August, beginning of September.
So we're announcing that we're having a partnership, a Halloween event with Theater Huntsville.
Oh, wow.
And that's going to be a really cool Halloween event.
For sure.
And we're having an Auto Fest, Tennessee Valley Auto Fest. We're having the craft beverage festival. It's craft beer, it's wine, it's spirits. We have a 5K and a 10K coming back for the second year.
Yeah.
So you do all of this stuff, and all of this, when you put it together, is all about entertainment. We want people to have great memories at soccer matches, but also at the other, 14 home matches, it's 365. So the other, 300, and if I'm doing my math in my head, 351? Yeah, 51 days.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that while I'm live. 351 days, we're not going to book it every day, but we want to have it so people have corporate offsites. Yeah. We've had people ask about wedding rehearsal dinners. All kinds of things we can do there. And that's why Wicks Family Field is an entertainment venue, we think, unlike any other in North Alabama.
How, as we're recording this, the construction around Wicks Family Field is continuing to really kind of come to fruition, and things are happening. Like dirt's being moved, renderings have been out. How do you think that construction and everything that's being done there, and everything that's being done at John Hunt, just right down the street from you, is going to continue to impact what can happen in South Huntsville and what's going to be happening at Wicks Family Field?
Yeah, I think it's all going to complement each other really beautifully. And I think we have two examples already in the Huntsville area. We have Orion, which is, I'd consider, the anchor of Mid-City. Mm-hmm. And it was great when it opened, but as all these other businesses and lofts and hotels open nearby it, it just grows the excitement of Mid-City. Sure. Same thing at Toyota Field. As you see all of the restaurants and the homes and the hotels being built, in addition to the Trash Pandas game, now you have a lot of other things around there. So that same model will happen at John Hunt Park when Stadium Commons opens, and that's going to have lofts. It's going to have restaurants. They just announced Hattie B's, which people are excited about. It's going to have office space, hotel space, and then there's another hotel literally right on the immediate east side. There's a grass right now. There's going to be a hotel being built there, so you'll be able to, if your room is facing west, you'll open your shades and there's Wicks Family Field.
Wow. Yeah, and I think that whole, this idea of an entertainment district and this idea of a work, play, and this entertainment ability just to kind of walk, where it's, you're getting to this point at Mid-City where people are living there, working there, and enjoying the benefits of it. And they don't even drive. They just get to be able to walk to everything. And that'll eventually be what the area where the Wicks Family Field is, and you'll be able just to kind of commute by foot and be able to kind of experience that area of town that I think has so much potential and is going to have so much potential. How do you think the event, I guess one of the biggest events probably coming to North Alabama, but the South Star Festival is going to kind of bring in more attention to not only Huntsville in general, but also what's being done at Wicks Family Field?
Yeah, I'm super excited about South Star. We purposely didn't schedule matches because there's going to be so many people there. It would have, at some point, you don't want to break the system.
Yes.
But at the same time, that'll bring a lot of new people to John Hunt Park. And we have two big jumbotrons right outside the stadium. We'll turn those on, talk about our events.
Wow.
People will go by and be like, what's that beautiful stadium over there?
Yeah.
And so we think, I'm of the big belief that you bring more eyeballs, bring more people nearby, and when you have a beautiful asset like Wicks Family Field, they're going to be curious and want to learn more. So maybe they go to the website, maybe they go to social media platforms, and they come back. And that's the same thing going to happen when you add in the hotels, when you add in all the Stadium Commons assets. More people create more excitement and create more interest. And really, honestly, Clark, there's nowhere in the Southeast, maybe not in the country, but certainly not the Southeast, like John Hunt Park.
Yeah.
When you think about all of the city assets, you can play 30 different Olympic sports between Winter and Summer Olympics within about a 2 or 3 mile radius of the center of John Hunt Park.
Which is insane.
Public facilities like the Iceplex, you can figure skate, play curling, hockey, and then private facilities. There's shooting ranges, there's martial arts studios, there's a gymnastic area. All of that combines to make John Hunt Park, I would consider to be all the way from the very south side with the mountain bike course and the cross-country course, all the way to the north side with a new 25-court pickleball complex coming.
Yeah.
It is not just a Huntsville treasure. It's not just a Southeast treasure. It's a national treasure in terms of sports facilities, co-located in a single area.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess like you mentioned, just the amount of tourism that comes to that area for sports, and it's collegiate, it's all. I mean, the amount of the cross country races out there. That course is incredible. I wish that course was around when I was running cross country in high school, because it would have been one of my favorites probably. And I've been able to run it since, and it is a fantastic spot to be. As we're recording this and just getting nearing the end of HCFC's 1B season. What does the rest of this year in the future look like, kind of moving forward for not only HCFC, but also Wicks Family Field?
I think one of the biggest things that we're excited about, assuming we get this posted before September 4th, because September 4th is going to be a big deal for not just Wicks Family Field and Huntsville City Football Club, but for the city and region as a whole, because Nashville Soccer Club, our parent team, the Major League Soccer team, is coming down to Wicks Family Field on September 4th, Wednesday, September 4th, to play a match against our boys in blue.
Wow.
Huntsville City FC, the first professional sports match, Major League sports match at John Hunt Park since 1999, when the Milwaukee Brewers played the Stars in the same stadium, ironically.
That's cool.
So we call that, we had a public vote on naming the match. It needs its own name. It's a really iconic, special, unique match. So it's the Space Cowboy match.
Yeah, I think I literally saw the post today.
Yeah. And someone's like, how does it become Space Cowboy? And I was like, a vote of the people.
Yeah.
The people spoke.
Yeah.
And so we're going to do some fun stuff with that. And it's called a friendly. So while they're going to play soccer and there'll be referees and, people trying to score goals, it's also an opportunity for the Huntsville City Football Club and the Nashville Soccer Club, really soccer families, to come together.
Yeah.
And meet players, get autographs. We're, again, separated by 90 miles, but we're part of the same soccer family. And so September 4th, it's going to be a great opportunity, not just to see our boys in blue, but to see the boys in gold.
Yeah, and this episode will definitely be out before then, so we'll have links to all of that in the episode notes. So if you want to get tickets to that event or see any of the other events that are happening at Wicks Family Field, you can definitely check out that area. But I appreciate you taking the last little bit, talking about HCFC and kind of your role with HCFC, and I continue to look forward to the impact it'll have. I will have to get myself down there to a match very, very soon and see the space for myself. It is one of the most, I draw so much attention for its location right there on the Parkway that I can't wait to be able to visit the space and see it for myself.
And I really want to give the city kudos, and the stadium architect and the contractor. We are the operators of the facility, but so many people from Chapman Sisson, who were the stadium architects, to Lee Builders, to the city, a bunch of different departments, city council, Mayor Battle, they all had a vision to make this a special place. It could have been just done on the cheap, but a lot of the things, from the Jumbotron to the quality of the turf to the quality of the seats, we really want this to be a place that you could put it in any city in America, and it would be one of the nicest middle-size entertainment venues, open air, where you play sports and other things anywhere. So kudos. That's what we do in Huntsville really well. If we can't do it great, let's wait till we can do it great. And that's what happened with Wicks Family Field.
Yeah, and it is such a cool space. But I appreciate you being here, and I'll have to have you back on in a couple of years talking about all the new things you're doing and all the new acts and events that are happening there. But I appreciate you being here.
I'm going to see you on September 4th, right?
I will be there.
You wear your cowboy hat or your spacesuit?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.